Let me have your attention, please. We're excited this morning to have our last and final speaker in celebration of Black History Month. I'd like to introduce you to Ms. Kennedy Osborne.
Good morning. I've been tasked with introducing my uncle. His name is Cecil Barden and his wife name is Joy. They have been married for 29 years. He has one daughter and one son. His daughter's name is Laura, and she is a 2018 graduate of Dodge County High School and a 2022 graduate of UGA. His son's name is Henry, and he is a 2022 graduate of Dodge County High School. He is a sophomore at Middle Georgia State University in Cochran, Georgia. I present to you my uncle, Cecil Barden.
What a privilege to be here today, and I count it as an honor and a privilege. And I thank Ms. Watson for inviting me. And I want to share a little bit about myself. I am Black. The second thing is I have history. You can call that Black history. They told me I only had 20 minutes, so I gotta move quickly. So I said, move quickly. Now I want you to participate with me because I need your help in this speech. Every time I say I had to, and I put my hand to my ear, I want y'all to say, press on. Can you handle it for me? Let's practice, let's practice. I had to. Together. All right. See, I just want to jump into when I was about the 8th grade. In the 8th grade, I was a pretty good athlete. I played running back for the gold team. In fact, at that time, we didn't even play teams outside of the county. There was Ryan, there was Chester, there was Chauncey, Dodge Elementary, and the two teams from Eastman, from the middle school, the yellow and gold team. I played on the gold team, and we played one another and determined who the championship would for that year. Well, my 8th grade year, we played Chester for the championship. Now, you got to understand, some of these guys were driving to school in the 8th grade. You'll catch that in a minute. In other words, they had meters. I was about 4'9", 85 pounds, soaking wet. And I can remember running around on the side and did a pitch, sweep right. I caught the ball and I turned the corner. And one of those guys hit me, and I remember waking up. But you gotta understand, I had a vision that one day I was gonna play for the Dallas Cowboys. My favorite running back was a guy named Tony Dorsett, number 33. My vision was one day I was gonna be a great running back in the NFL. Little did I know that wasn't God's plan. I had to. You know why? Because that wasn't the plan God had for me. It was the plan I had for me. So it rocked on, and we got to the 9th grade, and all of these 8th graders from Dodge Elementary, Ryan, Chester, and Chauncey, all of us now came to the high school. I did make the 9th grade team. I was a tailback, and this is the last thing I remember playing football. I was a sweep right. Every time I did a sweep right, I got killed. Well, they pitched it to me, and I run a sweep right. We're playing against Dublin High School. Somebody say, boo. And I turned that corner. I got about 10 yards, and bang! I could feel snot coming out my nose. I could see myself looking up at the stars saying, maybe I don't need to play football anymore. I needed to. You know why? Because that wasn't the history that God didn't want that for me. So about the 9th and 10th grade, I started playing tennis. And my uncle was really a tennis enthusiast, and so I started playing tennis, and I got pretty good at it. I practiced about 3 hours a day. And whatever I do, I hate to lose. So I hate to lose. So I began to practice every day, rain, sleet, or snow. In about the 11th grade, I became the second on the men's team. And by my 12th grade year, I was the #1 player on our team. But you know why all of this happened? I had to. Something I want you to remember today. If you don't remember anything else in life, you have to. So I ended up being the #1 on that team and played for the region championship that year. And I beat the #1 seed and then lost to the 4th seed. My vision of being the region champ was terminated. But I had to. And so I enrolled in Mercer University. I got a tennis scholarship and an academic scholarship. And here's where things begin to get a little crazy. I don't know about you all, but when you get to college, you need to learn how to study. Well, that wasn't part of my program. So as I was my freshman year, I was on the tennis team, did pretty good, beat Fort Valley, beat Georgia College. I was pretty good at tennis, and things were going good, but there was only one problem. There was schoolwork. Anybody know what that is? For some reason, I forgot why I was really there. And so I got on academic probation. Anybody know what that is? That's when your grades don't meet up to the standards. But I had to. So as I pressed on, I realized that I couldn't play tennis anymore because you don't need to be playing tennis when you ain't getting your grades. So you're on academic probation, so you can't play tennis. And that's where I found myself. Now I no longer can be a Dallas Cowboy football player. No longer can I be a professional tennis player. And I need to learn how to. Because life throws hills and valleys. Things happen. Things are not always going to go right. So you have to learn to. So I finally got my grades back up, and 4 years passed by like that. And there I was a senior, but there was only one problem. I was a senior, but I didn't have enough points to graduate. Didn't have enough units. So everybody around me was graduating from Mercer. And I had to come home and tell my parents that I'm not one of them. But I had to. So I enrolled in the Army. My brother and I went on a buddy plan. He graduated from high school in '88, and I was supposed to graduate in college. But little did I know, that wasn't the plan for me. So in life, you got to learn, no matter how hard it is, you have to learn to. So when I enrolled in the military, I knew that I would get money for college. My daddy told me I'm no longer playing. I played for 4 years, now it's on you, bro. The best thing that ever happened for me. I enrolled in the Army, went 2 years, but something happened. A guy named Hussein, started a war against Saudi Arabia. And on my papers, it said I was supposed to get out on October 1st, 1990, on my birthday. It said, the newspaper said, you were extended indefinitely until we finish this war. It didn't say it like that, but that's what it meant. So you have to learn to. So as we go over there to this war, and we land in Saudi Arabia at 11 o'clock at night, October the 1st of my birthday, and there we opened the flames shutters, opened the doors, and it was 99 degrees at 11 o'clock at night. Lord, you got to learn how to press on when it's 99 degrees at night. I was glad, I was thinking to myself, what in the world's going to be when the sun come up? 130 degrees in the shade. It was so hot, when you saw a dog chasing a cat, they both would be walking. You'd catch them in a minute. So we had to learn. Even though it wasn't my vision, but it was God's vision. And so now this war kicks on and everything comes to a head in about 6 months. We bombed them for 6 months. It took us 24 hours to defeat them with our battle tanks and Apache helicopters. We defeated them just like that after we had bombed them for 6 months. So I was coming back home to Fort Bliss, Texas, in El Paso, Texas. And something supernatural happened. I got out of the Army. Thank you, Jesus. Now, here's the awesome thing, though. Now I got some money to pay for school. So I enrolled at Mercer University the second time. So you have to learn how to, the second time. And I actually had a job, a part-time job, and went to class at night. If anybody knows where used to be the Mercer Annex next to the library, that's exactly where I graduated from. Working in the day, going to school at night. Here's what's so awesome. Don't you ever let anybody tell you can't do what you're made to do. I always wanted to be a medical doctor, but little did I know I was going to be a doctor, but it wasn't going to be a medical doctor. Watch this now. This is how this unfolds. So I met this young lady. Miss Watson worked with my dad at the high school. My dad was a counselor. And so I met this young lady. They arranged a blind date. I had broken with my girlfriend. She had broken with her boyfriend. And I met this young lady by the name of Joyce Jenkins on a blind date. It wasn't a blind date. She worked at Piggly Wiggly. Mama didn't raise no fool. I went by Piggly Wiggly to see how she looked. So we end up dating. But in the meantime, I met this doctor named Dr. White, and I became a Christian in 1993. And everything began to fall into place. I finished college. Actually went back to in the military, in the National Guard, and became an officer. And then I started this church called Faith in Action in 1998. Listen, folks, listen. You must learn to what? No matter what your situation or circumstance, you must learn to press. So as this church unfolds and God began to move and God began to send people and out of nowhere, and this church began to expand, and we bought 10 acres of land, a $1.5 million building. How did this happen? I had to. Now in the meantime, all this I'm taking classes in my master's to become a master's of divinity in theology, and I finally, it took me 20 years to get my master's in theology. I took a class here. Joyce would take a class and get her master's. I took classes sparingly. She took class the whole time because she would get a pay raise. I didn't get a pay raise. I ain't no fool. So she got her master's before I did. But in 2019, after 20 years of perseverance and hanging in there, I finally got my master's. Now I'm getting ready to close it. Now I'm working on my doctorate. I'm one class away from being Dr. Cecil. Not a medical doctor. God knew I couldn't have done that because I'm ADD. I would have went crazy sitting on I'm about ready to run down some nervous. But now I'm becoming a doctor of people's souls. That's an eternal work. But the only way you get to where God wants you to be, you have to learn to. I think you may have got the message. No matter what your history is, whether it's white history, Hispanic history, or black history, we all need God. Here's the most exciting thing about it all. The Dodge County girls team. In the Elite 8. All of them personal. I don't know about y'all. I want to talk to you over here.